first few moments together to just sink in and arrive, starting to mark the transition away from the day and into this moment, but not yet get pulled to what might happen right after this moment, after this practice. Seeing if you can just carve out this little chunk of time to be right here. Taking a moment to check in with your physical body, noticing the feeling of the floor beneath you, the support along the spine, noticing which areas are in contact with the floor, and maybe where there's a little space underneath other areas. Just taking a little inventory of the physical body, noticing places that might already feel open and spacious, and maybe some places that feel a little less so. Maybe even noticing some areas where you might be holding tension that you don't need. Perhaps between the eyebrows, or around the cheeks or the jaw, the neck or the shoulders, maybe the belly, even the hands or the feet. Just seeing if you can send a few extra breaths into the places that need it the most. And taking a moment to check in with your emotional body, your mood this evening. How are you feeling? Knowing that there's all sorts of answers to that question and things that you might find in this part of the checking in. So just move gently with yourself, knowing that everything you come across is okay, everything is valid. Trying your best not to judge or label anything you find, but just notice what there is. Now, taking a moment to check in with the busyness of the mind, the speed at which your thoughts are entering and exiting. Maybe it feels very jumpy still from the day, or maybe you've had a little space between the day and this practice and it feels a little slower, or something in between. Seeing if you can become aware of the thoughts as they enter, acknowledge them, and let them go on their way. And then lastly, bringing your awareness to your breath, noticing the rhythm, the depth, the cadence, noticing the quality of the breath. Does it feel smooth or choppy, full and round, or maybe more shallow? Notice which path the breath wants to take within the body. Where does it move to first and most easily? And then where does it feel a little harder to send it? And in these last few moments here on the earth, I'll offer the seed for our practice this evening. I'm still working with that concept in yogic philosophy known as tapas, which represents a luminous, transformative heat. And we often find that at the edges of something challenging, the edges of something that requires effort. And it's worth seeking out because it allows us not only to transform, but to build endurance, build the ability to just keep going. So relevant for these times on many levels. In yoga, we often use the physical practice as a blueprint to be able to take off the mat and inform our daily practices. So building that endurance, using that tapas on the mat teaches our nervous systems that we can handle challenging things, that we can settle in the face of work. So keep that in mind as we start to move together. Staying on your back. But now if the eyes are closed, gently starting to blink them open, or maybe just focusing the gaze. And as you feel ready, bending one knee at a time and placing your feet on the mat. And then gently allowing the knees to rock a little bit from side to side. It doesn't have to be anything too big right now, but just waking up the spine and the hips a little bit. Noticing how the feeling of the earth changes as you start to move. Keeping the breath smooth and steady as you go. And then starting to find a little stillness here, knees facing up towards the ceiling once again. And then on your inhale, we'll take both arms up towards the ceiling. So fingers facing up towards the ceiling, hands right over the top of the shoulders. Taking a few moments to feel what that does to the shoulder blades. And then on your next inhale, sending your right arm overhead and the left arm back down to the mat near your hips. Standing out on the exhale. And then inhaling your way back up, both hands towards the sky. And then extend out on the exhale, left arm now overhead, right arm towards your toes. Inhaling through center. Exhaling, right arm overhead, left arm towards the mat. And one last time, inhaling to change through the center. Exhaling to send the left arm overhead and the right arm down towards the floor. And then inhale, both arms back to the center and pause here for a moment. And then from here, we'll fold the hands together and bring them down towards the heart. Fingers hovering over the chest, pointing towards the face. And this time on the inhale, keeping the palms together, you'll lift both arms overhead, reaching to the wall behind you. And then on the exhale, opening the hands, bending the elbows so that you can circle the arms down and around. And then meeting back with the hands joined over the chest. And we'll take twice more. We'll inhale to reach the arms overhead. Exhale to bend the elbows, circle the arms out and around. Meeting back with the hands over your chest. And then one last time. Inhale to lift up, overhead, big reach. And then exhale, open it out into a circle. Ending with the hands connected back over the chest. And then from here, we'll simply bring the hands behind the head. Like you have a cradle for your head with your hands, elbows open wide, breathing into the chest for a breath. And then gently keeping the hands as they are, starting to roll over onto your left side. So then your left arm becomes a pillow for your head, and your right arm, your elbow starts to point out towards that long edge of the mat.
And then on your inhale, you'll take just the right elbow up and back, allowing the torso to come with you as if you're opening the covers of a book, spine starting to come into a little bit of a twist. And then exhale to return the elbow to your starting position, rolling back onto your side. And we'll take that twice more. Inhaling to open up through the right elbow, allowing the chest to turn with you, knees staying towards the left. Exhale to close the covers of your book. And then one last time. Inhaling to open, maybe feeling that there's a little more space this time. And then gently exhaling to close. And then keeping that gentle cradle at your head, you'll gently roll back onto your back, coming through center for a moment. And then slowly rolling over to your right side. Right arm now being the cradle for your head. And left elbow pointing towards the long edge of the mat on the opposite side. And then here we go. Inhaling to open through the left elbow now, allowing the torso to come with you. Sound effects are welcome. And then exhaling, close your book, rolling back onto the right side. Twice more. Inhale, rolls you open, left elbow pointing towards the opposite side of the room. And then exhale to close your book. One last time. Inhale to open, unfurling wide through the collarbones. And then exhale to gently close, ending up on that right side. Then from here, you can gently release the arms and use your hands to carefully push yourself up to a seat. And then come onto hands and knees onto your mat. You're in this little tabletop shape here. Yeah, great. And then once you arrive here, these first few rounds of breaths are just for you. So you can do whatever is calling to you. Maybe it's some spine waves coming through cat and cow. Maybe it's circling through the hips and the low back. Maybe even figure eights, getting the shoulders into the game, bending one elbow at a time to release the shoulder blades. Really, whatever you need to shake off any of the sitting that you did today, any time on the computer. Taking a few more moments to play around here. Keeping the breath smooth and steady as you go. And as you're continuing to play here, I'll remind you that I am just the suggestion box up here. So I will give you several options as we move through the practice. But if none of those options are appealing, you can of course take something else that fits better for your body. That's always fine. I'm taking one more round of breath here, playing. And then starting to find some stillness in your shape here. And then checking to see that the knees are right underneath the hips. And then from here, keeping that same position with your knees and hips, you'll walk the hands forward. They can come a little bit wide, coming onto the tented fingertips, and then starting to bring the head down towards the mat. Maybe it touches, maybe it doesn't. That's okay, either way. But coming into puppy pose here. So we're still high up in the hips, but the chest and the forehead sinking down towards the mat, opening up through the underside of the arm, through the chest. As you stay for one more breath, a little attention in the low belly, so you take some of the strain out of the low spine. And then using your inhale to inflate, rise back up and walk the hands back underneath the shoulders. And then coming down to your forearms, still keeping the hips high above the knees, coming down so that the elbows are just underneath the shoulders. And then checking to see that the forearms are about a forearm's length apart. So you'll swing your right hand to touch your left elbow crease, and then you can check the opposite way. It's a good way to check your dimensions. Once you have those pillars set, then you'll allow the hands to interlace. You're making a little triangle on the earth. Kind of looks like that underneath you. Yeah. And then you'll push your hands strongly into the earth. So we're not going anywhere yet. We're just prepping the base for later. We're making a blueprint here. So pulling in through the low belly, pressing the forearms strongly into the earth, feeling how that press allows you to connect to the shoulder strength, shoulder blades really active here. One more breath. And then gently releasing, coming back to your hands and knees. Rechecking to see that the knees have landed again right underneath the hips. And the hands are slightly ahead of the shoulders. And then from here, we'll inhale your left leg long behind you. Strong, straight reach with that left leg, pushing the hands into the mat, lifting through the belly a little bit so we keep the pelvis nice and steady. One more breath to arrive here in this shape. And then gently on the exhale, stepping the left foot to the outside of your left hand. Getting strong through the legs and lighter through the fingers so that on the inhale, you can sweep both arms up to the sky, coming into your low lunge. That's it. Great. And then from here, we'll take 3 backward arm circles. Hello, pets. And we're going to try to keep the spine really neutral here. So just moving the arms. So here we go. On the inhale, sweeping the arms out and around. And then on the exhale, sending them back up to the sky. And twice more like that, sweeping out and around. And then exhaling up to the sky. One last time, sweep open out and around. And then exhale, hands to the sky. Hold here for a breath. Then on the exhale, hands plant on the mat on the inside of that front foot. Press some weight into the hands, look forward, and then on the inhale, lift your right knee off the earth, coming into this runner's lunge shape. And then we'll flow between these 2 shapes just a little bit faster now. So on the inhale, you'll release the right knee to the mat, sweep both arms back up to the sky, come into your low lunge. Have a moment to arrive. And then on your exhale, hands return to the mat. Look forward. Inhale that right knee off the mat, runner's lunge for just a moment. And then one more time through. Releasing the right knee to the earth, inhaling your way up, low lunge. Exhale, hands to the mat. Look forward, inhale that right knee off the earth. Hold right here. One more moment. Then gently release the right knee to the earth and swing that left leg back long behind you. If you like this round, you can shift your weight a little bit into the left hand, reach that right arm forward, coming into a balance. Really connecting to the low belly here, even if it's a place that's super familiar, seeing if you can connect to the center, push that left hand into the mat so that that shoulder blade is really active. One more breath. Yes. And then releasing all the limbs to the earth. And we'll take the second side. Inhaling that right leg long behind you, taking a moment to really arrive. So pushing the hands into the mat, noticing if when you lift the leg, if the weight wants to shift really far to one side or the other, seeing if you can even it back out. Strong through the belly. And then on the exhale, stepping that right foot to the outside of the right hand, getting lighter through the fingertips. So then on the inhale, you can sweep the arms up, coming into your low lunge. We'll start with those arm circles again, paying close attention to what the belly is doing. So we want to make sure we're not coming into a back bend this round. So here we go. Inhaling back behind you. Exhaling up to your center. Twice more. Inhaling out and around. Exhaling back to the center. One last time. Inhaling out and around. And then exhaling back to the center. Hold here for a breath. Then on the next exhale, dropping both hands to the inside of that right foot. Pressing through the hands, look forward. Lift your left knee off the earth, coming into the runner's lunge on the second side. Marinating here for a moment on this first round. Feeling that calf start to open up. Feeling the right hip starting to open a little bit here. And then we'll float a little bit now. Releasing that left knee to the mat,
Inhaling both arms up, coming into your low lunge. Yes. Then exhaling, hands return to the earth. Look forward. Inhale that left knee off the mat. Runner's lunge for a breath. Release the left knee to the earth. Swim the arms up on the inhale. Come back to the low lunge. And then last time down. Hands down to the mat. Look forward. Inhale the left knee off the earth. And then this time on the exhale, just releasing the left knee to the earth, pushing the hands into the mat so that you can free your right leg long behind you. And then just as before, you can stay here or shift the weight into the right hand so that you can release your left arm forward. Strong through the belly, neutral spine and pelvis. And once again, paying attention to that right hand, steady pressure on the earth so that right shoulder blade doesn't sink into the body. One more movement here. And gently returning all your limbs to the earth. And then from here, gripping the mat with your fingertips, creating a kickstand with your toes, inhaling to prepare, and then exhale to lift your knees just an inch off the mat. So you're coming into your hovering tabletop shape here. Strong through the belly, strong through the shoulder blades, starting to build that tapas in the middle. One more breath here. And then on your exhale, sending your hips high to the sky, coming into your downward facing dog. Your first down dog of the practice. So take a moment to make it your own. You can walk your legs back and forth, pedal the knees, swing the hips from side to side, whatever you need to feel connected in your dog. And taking one or two more full breaths to play. And starting to find some stillness. And then we'll come rippling forward to plank. So we'll take the whole inhale to do it. Come high up on the toes and then curling through the belly, taking one spine segment at a time, as if you were coming up and over something. Finally emerging in your high plank, shoulders over the wrist, little tuck of the belly, tailbone moving down towards the heels, pubic bone moving up towards the nose. One more strong breath here. And then exhaling to bend the knees and send the hips back to the sky, coming into your downward facing dog. Just a short visit this time. On the inhale, bending the knees and taking a walk or a step to the top of the mat. Knees can stay pretty bent if you need to as you arrive. And then you'll press your feet into the earth, swim the arms out and around overhead, and then return the hands to your heart on the exhale. Great. From here, taking a big step to the back of the mat with your right leg, coming into your high lunge legs. So your left knee is bent in the front, right leg strong and straight behind you. If you feel wobbly at all, you can always take the feet wider. As you feel ready in the feet, then you'll inhale both arms overhead, coming into your high lunge. Yes. Holding here for a breath. Really marinating in the shape. And then on the exhale, we'll start to hinge forward at that left hip. Let both arms reaching up towards the front of the room. Spine like a little arrow. And then on the exhale, spine stays as it is, but the arms will sweep back, turning the palms up to face the ceiling and pulling the shoulder blades together. One more steady breath here. And then inhaling your way all the way back up to that high lunge. Now we'll do that same thing, just a little faster with the breath. So we'll inhale to prepare, and then exhale to sweep the body forward and the arms back, palms facing up towards the sky. Then inhaling all the way back up to your high lunge. Yeah, twice more just like that. Inhale to reach. Exhale, torso comes forward, arms press back, palms to the sky. Inhaling your way back up, high lunge. Last time, inhale to reach. Exhale, body comes forward, arms sweep back. This time, stay right here. You can keep the arms like this, or if there's a little more space in the shoulders, perhaps you connect the palms together and then start to bring the arms away from the body. So there's a little space there. Yes, that's it. Staying in your lunge like an arrow. Yep, there you go. One more steady breath here. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. And then on your inhale, unclasp the hands, reach the arms all the way back up to the sky. This time, exhaling the hands to your heart. And then step the back foot in, maybe a foot or so, straightening through both legs. So coming into pyramid pose legs. This is a little shorter than what your warrior one would be. Your left toes are facing straight forward and your right toes are out at just a slight angle. Then you'll bring your hands to your bony hip points in the front, making sure that both hips can fit comfortably between your legs. If you feel like the hips want to kind of spin around to the right, then take your feet a little bit wider. So we're going to take one last shoulder stretch here before we go down. So we're going to inhale both arms up to the sky. Exhale to turn the palms away from you and then start to bend the elbows. Then the hands will meet over the top of the head. And if you feel quite flexible in the arms and you can bring the shoulders back a little bit, make sure that you're connected to your bottom ribs. Often what happens is we start to do this and the bottom ribs kind of poke out. So making sure that you connect to the belly, scoop that in. There you go. Holding for one breath here. And exhaling, hands to your heart. Taking an inhale. And then this time on the exhale, legs stay the same. You're starting to shift forward with the torso. Depending on your hamstrings today, maybe you stay here. Or maybe you continue on down, hands finding the earth, or maybe blocks. Holding smooth, steady breath here. Relaxing the head and the neck, shaking it out from side to side. If you're pretty draped forward, try taking the left hip back a little bit and the right hip forward. Good. Smooth, steady breath, rhythm, one more round. Then use your inhale to inflate you, coming all the way back up to standing, hands underneath your heart. Yes. And then just soften through the left knee so you can step your right foot to the top of the mat. Yes. And then here we go. Inhaling the arms out and around to the sky. Exhaling, hands to your heart, hinging forward at both hips, bringing the hands to the mat. You can bend the knees as much as you need to get firm purchase on the earth with your hands. And then you'll step one foot and then the other foot back to the back of the mat, coming into your downward facing dog. We'll take that smooth, slow ripple to plank another time here. So inhaling to come high up on the toes. And then as if you were moving through honey, taking all the time in the world, coming slowly forward towards your full high plank. Hovering here once you arrive, scooping in the belly, strong through the hands and shoulders, smooth, steady breath. One more round. And then gently releasing both knees to the earth and coming back down onto the forearms. So we'll come back into our little prepping position as we did before. So elbows are right underneath the shoulders, and then checking to see that you have a forearms distance between the elbows, then allowing the hands to press together. Pressing the hands strong into the mat as we did before. You could stay with this, and this is where you're feeling it right now, or starting to come forward. So on the inhale, shifting your weight forward so that the nose starts to come over the hands, and then exhale to take it back. And we'll do that twice more. Inhaling forward, starting to take some weight through the arms. Exhaling to take it back, but maintaining that firm pressure into the mat with your forearms. One more time, inhaling your way forward, and then exhaling to take it back. And then this time on the inhale, coming back to your hands and your knees, re-gripping the mat with your fingertips, kickstanding your toes. Inhale to prepare. And then this time on the exhale, lifting all the way up into a downward facing dog. Smooth, fluid movement. Then on the inhale, look forward, bend the knees. Step or walk to the top of the mat. Once you arrive, press into the feet. Sweep the arms out and around overhead. And then exhale, hands to your heart. Great. And we'll take the second side. So we'll inhale a big step back, this time with your left foot coming towards the back of the mat. So you're in your high lunge, legs on the opposite side now. Once again, checking to make sure that you feel grounded in your feet. You can always come wider as you like. And then as you feel ready, inhaling both arms up to the sky, coming into your full high lunge. Breathing here for a moment, really landing in the shape. Smooth, steady breath. And then on the exhale, starting to hinge forward over the hip. This first round, taking a moment to really reach the hands forward. Slight tuck of the chin, so then back of the neck is long and open. And then on the exhale, keeping the torso as it is, sweeping the arms back, palms come to face the ceiling, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Holding here in this little arrow shape for a moment. And then connect to the power of your legs on the inhale. Sweep all the way back up to your high lunge. Yes. Then we'll float out a little bit now. So we'll inhale to reach. Exhale to sweep the torso forward and the hands back, palms face up. Inhale, press into the feet, lift all the way back up to your high lunge. Twice more. Inhale to reach. Exhale to sweep it forward, arms back. And then inhale your way all the way back up, high lunge up, smooth and in control. Inhale to reach. Exhale to tip it forward, hands press back. And this time we're gonna stay right here. Once again, your options, you can stay just with this, pressing the palms together towards the sky, or you can once again interlace. If you're interlacing, maybe try the funny way. And then pull the arms away from the body. Torso staying in this little arrow shape, slight tuck of the chin. Really feeling the shoulder blades doing some work here. Heads of the shoulders moving back towards the back body. One more smooth, steady breath. You got it. And then gently on the inhale, release the hands, reaching all the way back up to the sky. A moment in your high lunge. And then exhale, hands to your heart. And this time we'll step that left foot in about a foot or so, whatever feels right for your pyramid stance. Once again, checking the feet first, right toes facing straight forward, left toes at a slight angle. Then bringing the hands to the front of the hips and the pelvis, making sure there's plenty of room for those hips to fit between your legs, widening your feet if you need to. And then as you feel ready, inhaling both arms up to the sky. We're going to take that little shoulder stretch one last time. Exhaling the palms to face the front of you. And then bending the elbows, touching the palms together over the head. Once again, seeing if those elbows want to move back a little bit without allowing the front ribs to expand. That's it. If you're more flexible in the shoulders, it's harder to keep this down. Breathing smooth and steady here. And then exhaling, hands to your heart. Inhaling here. And then forward we go, tipping forward on the exhale. Starting to bow forward, stopping whenever it feels right for you. Maybe the hands find the floor or blocks. If that ever feels like too much, you can always come back up to the middle, that's fine. But if you're all the way down, maybe shaking out the head, making sure there's no tension in the neck. And then now maybe trying to draw the right hip back and the left hip forward just a little bit. Smooth, steady breath. One more round here. And use the inhale to start to inflate. Hands come back underneath the chest. Soften through the right knee so you can step your left foot to the top of the mat. And then down we go. Inhaling the arms out and around. Exhaling to hinge forward at your hips. Bringing the hands once again towards the mat. Arm purchase through the hands so that you can gently step your way back to downward facing dog. Arrive in your down dog for a moment. Strong legs. Little pulling in of the belly. And then once again, slow, smooth travel to your plank. High up on the toes. Take your whole inhale as if you had nothing else to do today but come to plank. Smooth and steady. Once you reach it, tucking that pelvis a little bit. Smooth through the shoulders. Steady breath. Building that tapas, that endurance. Slowing down the mind even. One more moment. And gently releasing the knees to the mat once again. Coming down onto the forearms. One more prep moment here. Checking the alignment of your knees and your hips. Checking the distance between your forearms. And then as you're ready, hooking the hands together. Now you could stay pressing the forearms into the mat. You could stay with those little rocks, or you can come to a little hovering position, so sort of pre-dolphin. That will look like this. You'll inhale to kickstand the toes, press the forearms powerfully into the mat, and then on the exhale, you'll just lift your knees 1 or 2 inches off the mat. So you're staying down here in your little baby dolphin. Really strong push through the forearms, so there's no weight on the head at all. Head's not even touching the mat. You're looking back towards your knees. Knees are strong and steady here. One more full breath if you're hovering. My mic goes away when I look down. And then gently lower the knees to the earth if they were lifted. And just sitting back on the heels for a minute so you can shake the arms out, shake the wrists out for a moment. The next time we come down, we'll have the opportunity to do a full dolphin. So we have one more piece before. So as you feel ready, walking the hands back out to your hands and knees. Inhaling to kickstand the toes. And then exhaling, away we go, all the way up to your downward facing dog. Looking forward, bending the knees on the inhale. And then walking or stepping to the top of the mat. Press into the feet to sweep the arms out and around towards the ceiling. And then exhaling, hands to your heart. And then we're gonna walk towards a wall or a door or a cabinet or anything you have that you can put your hand towards. If there's nothing around you, I'm looking, maybe if you, yeah, over there is good. If there's nothing, that'll work, You just need something for contact with your shoulder. So what we'll do, you'll stand with your right side close to the door, and then you'll bend your right arm. So it's at a little 90-degree forearm parallel to the earth. And then you'll touch your forearm towards your wall or doorway, whatever you found. And then we're gonna make some little half circles. On the inhale, you're gonna start to lift the arm, keeping the elbow close to the wall. You can see there. And then exhaling your way back down to your side. So you're making like a little arc. So you'll inhale to keep that arm touching the wall or the door, whatever you have. Once the elbow is over the shoulder, then you'll exhale to bring it back down. And one more time like that. Inhaling your way up, elbow coming over the shoulder, bottom ribs in. And then exhale to release back down. And this time you'll straighten out the arm and we'll start to make some full circles. So you'll aim to keep the back of the hand touching the door or the wall. So you'll inhale your way up here. You can see my fingers wiggling. So I'm touching this door. As you come all the way towards the top, there you go. Then you'll exhale, turn the palm to face the door or the wall, and then sweep that arm behind you. So you're completing your circle. And we'll do that twice more. Inhaling, palm faces you, back of the palm on your support. Once you get it overhead, flip the palm, exhale your way around, palm facing the surface. And then one last time. Inhale, back of the palm on the door. Once it's at the top, exhale to flip the palm and come all the way around. Great. You can shake out that side. And then you'll either shift sides so that you're on the opposite side of the door, or just turn around so that your left side is near the door. I'm going to stay this way so I can see you. We're going to inhale to bend the left elbow first. We'll take those half arcs. So inhaling with the elbow bent, you're going to come up till the elbow is over top of the shoulder. And then you'll exhale it back down, keeping connected to your surface if you can. So you'll inhale up like this. Elbow comes over top of the shoulder. Exhale, hand to your side. Good. Yes, you got it. One last time. Inhaling up. Elbow comes over the top of the shoulder. And then exhale your way back down. And then we'll straighten that arm and we'll take those full circles. So staying connected with your hand to your surface if you can. Palm facing you to start. Inhaling the full arm up. As you reach that top point, turn the palm away from you. Palm slides down the wall on the exhale. Yes, you got it. Twice more. Inhaling, palm facing you all the way up overhead. Flip the palm, exhale to trace it behind you. One last time. Inhale, palm faces you. Flip it over at the top. Palm faces away as you exhale down. Great, and then shake out that shoulder and then gently make your way back onto your mat. We'll do one last standing thing to wake up the legs, and then we're gonna put it all together and come in towards our dolphin. So we're heading towards chair pose. So you have a couple options with your feet. You can take the more traditional stance, which is toes together and heels a little bit separated. For some pelvis, that does not feel great. So if that is you, you can take your feet as wide as your hips. That's completely fine. But once you have your foot position chosen, then on the inhale, you'll reach both arms up to the sky. And then on your exhale, you'll sit your way down into your chair, hinging at your hips. Taking care that there's a little tuck of the tail here. So oftentimes in chair, we really kind of stick out the belly, so making sure that's stable. Great, strong reach through your arms. And then on the exhale, sweeping the hands back, keeping the torso as it is, just as we did before. That's it. And then inhaling your arms forward. This time you have an option, same thing, or exhale to sweep the arms back. Maybe come up onto the toes, catch a balance. And then inhale, heels down, arms lift. Great. Exhale, hands back, maybe balance. Inhale, heels down, arms lift. One more time. Exhaling, hands back, maybe balance. Inhale, heels down, arms lift. Hold here, one more breath. Pulling in the belly, strong through the legs. And then gently exhale, straighten the legs and dive it forward. Taking a moment here, maybe swaying from side to side, allowing the fingertips to trace a little half circle on the mat. Just working through the backs of the legs. And then as you feel ready, planting the hands. One last time, step it back towards your downward facing dog, arriving in your dog for a breath. And then one last slow ripple to plank. High up on the toes. Use your belly. See if you could curve through every single one of your vertebrae on the way. Emerging in your high plank, holding here. Pulling in the belly. 2 more smooth, steady breaths. It's our last one. And gently releasing the knees to the earth. And then just sitting back on your heels for a moment. We're going to do a quick demo here. So even if dolphin is already in your practice, we'll just show you just briefly a couple of things we've been working with today, and then we'll try together. So in a moment, we'll all try, and I'll show you first. So we'll take that same setup with the knees over the hips. You'll do your same setup with the arms, coming into that triangle shape. You could also stay with any of the other things, but if you're coming to full dolphin, then what you'll do on the inhale, you'll prepare.
Exhale, lift the knees just a little. See how you feel. Then if you feel like you want to go for it, start to extend the hips up towards the sky. So the legs look like downward facing dog, but the forearms are still in that triangle. And you're really pushing through the forearms so that there's no stress through your neck. Head is free. And particularly if you're more flexible, keep your ears in line with your upper arms. So we don't want to push forward so much that we come here. That's sort of dumping into the shoulders. So we want to make sure that we're staying with the ears in line with those forearms. Strong press through the arms. And then when you've had enough, you'll tuck your knees and come down. Okay. Yep, if you're already up, great. If you're not already up and you want to go for it, you can try now. I can only see one of you right now, so I'm not sure. Yeah. Smooth, steady breath. If you're up and you feel like you have a lot of space, you can try tiptoeing your legs a little closer to your hands. And we'll have another round to try as you're ready, taking your rest in between anytime you like. And if you're ready, maybe trying one more time. Yeah. There you go. Really pressing your forearms into the earth. Yeah. Yep. That changes your shoulder blades when you're able to do that. Yeah. That looks really nice. Good. Smooth, steady breath rhythm. And then when you're ready, starting to come back down. And then starting to come towards your child's pose. Knees wide, feet together, forehead towards the earth. And after dolphin and shoulder work, it often feels nice to have the arms alongside the body, hands towards the feet. So you could try that. If you prefer arms extended, of course, that's fine too. And just starting to really slow down the breath, slowing down the mind, allowing the heat that you just generated to wash over you. Knowing that even in poses that require attention and work, that you can still settle the mind. Letting your nervous system know that you are ready for whatever is going to come at you. And take 2 more big breaths here in your rest. And gently starting to come up towards your hands and knees. And then just kick the feet to one side and the hips to the other so you can come to sit. And then we'll bring the feet into that butterfly shape in front of the body. Yeah, that's it. Always feel free to sit up on something. If that feels better, that's fine, especially if you feel like your spine is rounding a little bit. Otherwise, we'll take a big inhale here to lengthen the spine. And then on the exhale, starting to fold forward, hinging over the hips as we did in the past when we were standing, keeping the low back long. So for this first few breaths, the crown of the head is going to reach out towards the top of the mat. Then once you feel like you're at your limit in terms of how far you can go, then you can gently allow the head and the neck to relax. So there's a smooth round through the spine so that it's not hinging just at the low spine. Seeing if in this shape, you can feel the breath start to move around towards the back of the body. We have quite a bit of our diaphragm in the back. It's hard to feel the breath go there oftentimes when we're standing or sitting. But in these forward folds, it's sometimes easier to detect it back there. Take 2 more full, steady breaths here. Gently using your inhale to inflate, turning your way back up to sitting. And gently use your hands to pull the knees together and then stretch your legs out in front of you. You can jiggle them around a little bit. And make sure you have enough room behind you. We're going to come back down towards the back. And flexing the feet, inhale the arms to reach long. And then scoop in the belly. We're going to do the reverse of the plank.
You're gonna roll down one piece by one piece until you're all the way down on the earth. Once you arrive, inhale the arms all the way overhead. Big long stretch from your fingers and your toes. You can point your toes if you like. Seeing now if you can use the breath to expand between the ribs, moving the breath out sideways. And gently inhale the arms back to the mat. Bending one knee at a time, feet find the mat as well. And then starting to come back into that little windshield wiper motion we created in the very beginning of class. Maybe it feels a little bit bigger now, moving at your own rhythm. And then the next time that the knees are all the way over towards the left, you can allow them to fall there. And then taking some position that's comfortable with the arms. Maybe there's a T shape that wants to happen, maybe cactus arms, anything that's comfortable for your shoulders. If the neck feels willing and comfortable, you can look out over towards the right. Just keeping the breath smooth and even, starting to slow down, reconnect to the earth. And then inhaling through center to change, and nose and knees face the ceiling. And then exhaling to allow the knees to come to the right. Maybe the head goes to the left. Again, checking in with your neck. Each side is different. Quieting down. And inhaling back through center, nose and knees towards the ceiling. And then last little piece, scooping both knees into the chest, either holding on around the shins, or you can clutch underneath your knees and hug at the hamstrings. Wherever you're holding, maybe inviting in a little movement here, perhaps some rocks from side to side, or circles around the low back and the pelvis, like a little massage. If you are circling, at some point, make sure you go the other way so that you feel even. Gently allowing one foot and then the other to find the earth. Now we're heading towards our Shavasana, so you can choose to stretch both legs long if you like. You can keep the legs bent, just toe heel the feet as wide as the mat and tuck the knees together. Whichever leg position you're choosing, and then choose something comfortable for your hands. Maybe it's a low V with the palms up. Maybe again, it's a T or a cactus. But something that allows the head of the arm bones to relax comfortably on the earth. And I'll allow the sound of my voice to fade away for a moment. And let you have some bits of quiet rest. And then I'll call you back. If you are happy and cozy where you are and you'd like to stay, please stay. If you're ready to come back, gently wiggle the fingers and the toes, gradually making those movements larger, closer to your center. And at some point, making your way over to one side, pausing there for a moment. As you feel ready, pushing yourself back up to your comfortable seat, but maybe still with the eyes closed or a soft gaze, something that allows the attention to remain internal for just a moment longer. Finding some place for your hands to land, maybe in your lap, maybe folded in front of the chest, maybe one hand on your heart, the other on top, or something else entirely you choose. For these last few breaths together here, acknowledging the heat that you created for yourself and for each other, and knowing that we can use that tapas to build our endurance both on and off the mat. I thank you so much for gathering together this evening. It was a pleasure to have you both. I wish you a lovely evening. Namaste.